in Hebrew, there is no word for rights. You have no rights in Hebrew. All you have are responsibilities. So what you teach is responsibilities, not rights. And so here in America, we say, hey, I've got a right to vote. No, you don't. You have a responsibility to vote. It's not a right. Because when you say it's a right, it's something I can choose to do or not choose to do. With voting, you don't have that choice. Voting is a responsibility. And so you have a duty to vote because you're part of the stewardship of the nation. So it's not a right to vote. And that's such a key concept, because when you get past, I don't want to vote in this, I don't like the election, I'm so tired of the bickering, that's not an option. You have a duty to vote. You have a responsibility to be involved. And so as you get into that duty concept of I'm going to vote, you just make up your mind, I'm going to. Here's what we have. In America, every adult can vote. According to the Constitution, you have to be 18 and above, and past that you can vote. 100% of Americans that are 18 and above can vote. The only thing we ask you to do is please get registered, and that way we can make sure you didn't vote 5 times or nobody voted for you. Just voter integrity. So all you have to do is fill out a little card and you're ready to vote. Only 67.1% of adults have filled out that card. Wow. So right off the bat, 1 out of 3 Americans says, I don't care what happens to America, I'm not going to be part of it. That's bad stewardship. That you've already given away your responsibilities. Yes. So we're 67.1% of adults that are registered, that can vote. We had a presidential election 2 years ago. Every presidential election since 1980, the average voter turnout is 54%. But that's 54% not of the nation, that's 54% of 67.1%. Yeah. So you're talking half of 67.1%, and you're roughly about 36% of adults vote in a presidential election. It only takes half of that to win the election. So since 1980, you're talking about only 1 out of 5 Americans choosing the President of the United States, which is, you look at the last election, we got 330 million. It was about 61 million that won the election. So you're talking 1 out of 5 Americans chooses the winning candidate. Now, you come into this election right now, it drops from 54% of Americans voting to 39% voting. Now we're talking 39% of 67%. So now we're at 26%. 1 out of 4 Americans will vote in this election. It takes half of that to win. 1 out of 8 Americans will choose our governors, our U.S. senators, and our congressmen.
For more resources like this, visit americastands.us.